Alright, I'm going to do a visual cue in just a little bit. I'm just checking the levels. Test. Yeah, okay. We're good. Alright, I'm going to move the mouse cursor right now. Okay. Here we go. Hopefully I don't cough. Let me get some coffee. Ah, it's so cold. Alright, here we go. Hello, and welcome to another Hypermedia Director tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how basic news feeds are constructed and basically break down the different layers that become with it. I highly recommend you... Fuck, I can't talk. Let me try again. I'm going to do another visual cue. I'm going to move the cursor right now. Hello, and welcome to another tutorial on Hypermedia Director. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create news feeds and basically deconstruct the one that comes from the template. I highly recommend that you watch the first two modules, the one on creating projects from templates, as well as creating schedules and quick publishing. So, as you can see here on our preview panel, we have a news ticker, or a news feed. As you can see, it's this news.svg. We're in our index.svg currently. And I actually grabbed this from our templates folder in the news folder, and it's this news.svg. You can also use the news _16_9 or the news 4:3 if you want to keep it in those aspect ratios. This one actually gives you free transformation of the size. So basically, this looks very similar to the news ticker that we looked at in the first module. As you can see, you have your RSS feed source, which you can once again put in any valid RSS address, but I'm just using Yahoo once again. And I'm using the feed type is RSS since we're going to the RSS address for Yahoo News. So essentially, Hypermedia Director has a built-in parser that parses the information that comes from these RSS feeds. There's basically three main aspects of an RSS feed. They are the title, which is basically the title of the news story, the description, which is basically the text or the story that you read, and there's the enclosure, which is the picture or image that comes with the story. Those are basically the three layers that you will see in this news feed. You click on this layers tab down at the bottom, you'll see that we have two text layers as well as a media layer. So, in order to grab or parse this information from the RSS feed source, what Hypermedia Director does is it uses this SPX in brackets, and then in brackets a field, which in this case is entitled title. So I can actually get rid of this title text in the beginning, and you'll see when I click apply, the title is now gone. What Hypermedia Director and the SpinetiX player do is this SPX is the call sign that lets you know that it's pulling or parsing information. This title tells it what information from the RSS feed to parse. So since this is the title, it's taking the title from that RSS feed and bringing it in. If I were to change this, say to description, we would have two descriptions displayed. As you can see, the title is exactly the same. Excuse me, the text is exactly the same. So, by using title, we are grabbing the title of the story. Same thing with description. Description, I'm going to delete this text. As you can see, it gets deleted over there as well. You're using the same call sign, SPX, and then the type of information from the RSS feed that you want to use or parse. So it's taking the description. The description, like I said, is the story. So it's taking this information and it's displaying it out. Now, if you want to adjust the size and position of these, you can click this switch edit mode on-off button. And as you can see, these three appear. I'll get to the enclosure a little later, but for right now I'm just going to talk about the SPX title and SPX description. You can actually move these around and position them however you'd like once you have the edit mode button on. So I'm actually going to move this around. I'm going to move this to the bottom so I can actually move it as well. One thing to note about layers, it hasn't been addressed yet, but it's actually a very important concept to learn, is the bottom layer in your list is actually the topmost layer. So while this title appeared here, and it was the topmost layer here in the layers panel, it's actually underneath this description layer. So I can't actually move it. I'm actually moving the description since it's on top. So if I actually move this title down into the middle, so that way it's actually above the description, but below in our layers panel, now I can move it since it's on top. So just remember, in the layers panel, your bottommost layer in the list is the topmost layer in your preview panel. So now that we've sized and positioned our layers how we want them, I'm actually going to talk about this enclosure. Now you can't open this because it's not actually pointing to anything, but what you can do to create this is you right click in your layers panel, you go insert media, now you have these question marks here. You go to this gray oval with the three dots, and in the URI text box you type in SPX, close brackets, open brackets, enclosure. I spelled enclosure wrong. There we go. And now you click the OK button, and that's actually how you create the layer. Now it already comes with the news template, so you don't need to worry about that. But I'm just showing you the process that if you wanted to create, or if you somehow lost the enclosure layer. Now what the Hypermedia Director is currently doing right now is it's actually going out and loading the enclosure, but since the item duration is so short, there's not enough time to grab the enclosure or the image in time before the next story appears, so that's why you don't see an enclosure. Also, some RSS feed sources or RSS websites don't actually include an enclosure within their RSS feed, so it's also possible that you just can't grab an image because they don't provide one. So that's a basic look at how news feeds work. In the next module, I'm going to tell you how you can create and customize news feeds for use for CSV files or XML files. Actually, in this example, we're going to use a CSV file. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.